Who else does?
How blind you are. Or do you just pretend to be blind?
I tell you, I'm worrying about my
So am I! I'm not going to leave you here alone with her.
What are you talking about?
Please go, Chris.
I'm not going.
Please. Please, I need it. Please go.
I shan't be far away.
Mollie, what is all this? You must be crazy. Perfectly prepared to shut yourself up in the kitchen with a homicidal maniac.
He isn't.
You've only got to look at him to see he's bomb.
He isn't. He's just unhappy. I tell you, Giles, he isn't dangerous. I'd know if he were dangerous. But anyway, I can look after myself.
That's what Mrs. Boyle said.
Giles, don't.
Look here. What is there between you and that wretched boy?
What do you mean by between us? I'm sorry for him, that's all.
Perhaps you'd met him before. Perhaps you suggested for him to come here, and then you both pretend to meet for the first time. All cooked up between you, was it?
Giles, how dare you suggest these things? Have you gone out of your mind?
Rather odd, is it? That he should come and stay in an out-of-the-way place like this.
Or odder than Mrs. Casewell? Or Major Metcalf? Or Mrs. Boyle should?
I read once in a paper that these cases were able to attract women. Looks as though it were true. Where did you first know him? How long has this been going on?
You're being absolutely ridiculous. I never set eyes on Christopher Wren until he arrived yesterday.
That's what you say. Perhaps you've been running up to London to meet him on the sly.
Perfectly well, but I haven't been up to London for weeks.
You haven't been up to London for weeks. Is that so?
What do you mean? It's quite true.
Is it? Then what's this? This is one of the gloves you were wearing yesterday. You dropped it. I picked it up this afternoon when I was talking to Sergeant Trotter. You see what's inside it? A London bus ticket. So it seems you did not only go to the village yesterday, you went to London as well.
I went to London.
Whilst I was safely away racing round the countryside.
You were racing around the country.
Come on now, admit it. You went to London.
All right. I went to London. So did you.
What?
So did you. You brought back the evening paper.
Where did you get hold of that?
It was in your overcoat pocket.
Anyone could have put it there.
Did they? No. You were in London.
All right, yes. I was in London. But I didn't go to meet a woman there.
Didn't you? Are you sure you didn't?
What do you mean?
Go away. Don't come near me.
What's the matter?
Don't touch me.
Did you go to London yesterday to meet Christopher Wren?
Don't be a fool. Of course I didn't.
Then why did you go?
Perhaps now I've forgotten why I went. And I shan't tell you that.
Mollie, what's come over you? You're different all of a sudden. I feel as though I don't know you anymore.
Perhaps you never did know me. We've been married how long? A year? You don't really know anything about me. What I'd done, or thought, or felt, or suffered before you knew me.
Mollie, you're crazy.
All right then, I'm crazy. Why not? Perhaps it's fun to be crazy sometimes.
What are you talking about?
Now, I hope you young people are not saying a little more than you mean. One is so apt doing these lovers' quarrels.
Lovers' quarrels.
Quite so, quite so. I know just how you feel. I've been through all of this myself, as a younger man. Ah, jeunesse, jeunesse. As the poet says, not been married long, I suppose.
That's no business of yours, Mr. Paravicini.
No business at all. But I just came in to say that the sergeant cannot find his keys, and I'm afraid he's very annoyed.
Oh, Christopher.
What's that?
He just wants to know if you have, by any chance, moved them, Mr. Ralston.
No, of course not.
Mr. Ralston, Mrs. Ralston, have either of you two removed a pair of skis from the cupboard near the kitchen door?
Certainly not.
Somebody's taken them. I wonder, how did you look for them?
Well, I need help here. Reinforcements. I was going to ski over to the police station near Market Hampton to report on the situation.
And now, you can't. Dear, dear. Someone certainly seen to it that you shan't do that. But there could be another reason, couldn't there?
Yes, what?
Someone may want to get away.
What did you mean when you said Christopher just now?
Nothing.
So our young architect has hooked him, has he?
Is this true, Mrs. Ralston?
No. Oh, thank goodness you haven't gone after all.
Mr. Wren, have you removed a pair of skis from the cupboard in the kitchen door?
Your skis, Sergeant? No, why should I?
Mrs. Ralston seemed to think...
Mr. Wren is very fond of skiing. I thought you might have taken him just to get a little exercise.
Exercise?
Now listen, you people. Someone has taken my only chance of communication with the outside world. I want everyone in here, at once.
I think Miss Casewell has gone upstairs.
I'll get her.
And I left Major Metcalf in the dining room. Major Metcalf! He's not there now.
I'll try and find him.
Hello? Want me?
Yes, it's a question of my skis.
Skates?
Mr. Ralston!
Have either of you two removed a pair of skis from the cupboard near the kitchen door?
Good Lord, no. Why should I?
I didn't touch them.
Nevertheless, they are gone. Which way did you go to get to your room?
By the back stairs.
Then you passed by the cupboard door.
If you say so. I have no idea where your skis are.
You were actually in that cupboard earlier today.
Yes, I was.
At the time Mrs. Boyle was killed.
At the time Mrs. Boyle was killed, I'd gone down to the cellars.
Did you see them when you passed by?
I haven't the least idea.
Didn't you see them there?
Can't remember.
You must remember if the skis were there then.
You could shine at me, young fellow. I wasn't thinking about any damn skis. I was interested in the cellars. Architecture of this place is very interesting. I opened the door and I went down, so I couldn't tell you whether the skis were there or not.
You realize that you yourself had an excellent opportunity of taking them.
Yes, I grant you that. If I wanted to, that is.
Question is, where are they now?
Ought to be able to find them then. Not a case of hunting the thimble, whacking great things, skis. Supposing we all set
Not quite so fast, Major Metcalf. That may be, what we are meant to do.
I don't get you.
I'm in the position now where I have to put myself in the place of a crazy, cunning brain. I have to stay just one step ahead of him because if I don't, there may be another death.
You still don't believe that?
Yes, I do, Miss Casewell. 3 blind mice. 2 mice cancelled out, 1 mouse still to be dealt with. There are 6 of you here listening to me. One of you's a killer. One of you's a killer. I don't know which yet, but I shall. And another of you's the killer's prospective victim. That's who I'm talking to right now. Mrs. Boyle held out on me. Mrs. Boyle is dead. You, whoever you are holding out on me. Well, don't. You're putting yourself in serious danger. No one who's killed twice is going to hesitate to kill a 3rd time. And as it is, I don't know which one of you it is that needs protection. Oh, come on now. Anyone who has anything, however slight, related to this bygone business had better come out with it. All right, you won't. I'll get that killer. Oh, no doubt of that. But it may be too late for one of you. Let me tell you this. That killer, he's enjoying himself. Yes, he's enjoying himself a good deal. All right, you can go.
Talking of chicken, dear lady, have you ever tried chicken slivers that is served on toast that has been thickly smeared with foie gras, with a thin rasher of bacon, and a soupçon of fresh mustard? I shall come with you to the kitchen, and we will see what we can concoct together. What a charming occupation.
I'm helping my wife, Paravicini.
Your husband is afraid for you. Quite natural under these circumstances. He doesn't fancy your being clean. It is my sadistic tendencies he fears, not my dishonorable ones. Alas, what an inconvenience the husband always is. I'll leave it there now.
But Giles doesn't think.
He is very wise. Take no chances. Can I prove to you or to him, or don't, Sergeant, that I am not a homicidal maniac? So difficult to prove in nature. And suppose that I am really... But such a gay little tune. She cut out their tails with a carving knife. Stick, stick, stick. delicious. Just what the child would adore. Cruel little things, children are. Some of them never grow up.
Stop frightening my wife at once.
Silly of me. But you see, I found her. Her face was all purple. I can't forget it.
It is difficult to forget things. You are not the forgetting kind.
I must hurry to the kitchen. The potatoes are all going to pieces and... Please, Giles.
Just what did you say to that lady to upset her?
Me, Sergeant? Oh, just a little innocent fun. I've always been fond of just a little joke.
There's nice fun. And then there's fun that's not so nice.
I do wonder what you mean by that, Sergeant.
I've been doing a little wondering about you, sir.
Indeed?
I've been wondering about that car of yours. How it happened to overturn in the snowdrift. So conveniently.
Inconveniently, you mean, don't you, Sergeant?
Rather depends on the way you look at it. Just where were you bound for last night when you had your accident?
I was on my way to see a friend.
In this neighborhood?
Not so very far from here.
And what's the name and address of this friend?
Now really, Sergeant Trotter. Does that matter now? I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with this predicament, has it?
We police always like the fullest information. Just what did you say that friend's name was?
I didn't say.
That's right. You didn't say. And it seems like you're not going to say.
But there could be so many reasons. In a more discretion, these jealous husbands.
Rather old to be running around with the ladies at your town of life, aren't you, sir?
My dear Sergeant, I'm not perhaps quite as old as I look.
That's just what I was thinking.
What?
That you may not be as old as you try to look. A lot of people go around trying to look younger than their years. One gets around trying to look older, well, that does make one ask oneself why.
Having asked questions of so many people, you ask questions of yourself as well? Isn't that overdoing things?
I might get an answer for myself. I don't get many from you.
Well, try again. That is, if you have any more questions to ask.
One or two. Just where were you coming from last night?
That is simple. From London.
What address in London?
I always stay at the Avants Hotel.
Oh, very nice too, I'm sure. And what is your permanent address?
I dislike permanency.
What is your business or profession?
I play the markets.
Stockbroker.
No, you misunderstand me.
Enjoying this little game, aren't you, sir? Very sure of yourself too. But I wouldn't be too sure. You're involved in a murder case. Murder isn't just fun in games.
Not even this murder. Oh, dear me, Sergeant Trotter. You are very serious. I've always thought that policemen have no sense of humor. Is this inquisition over for the moment?
For the moment, yes.
Oh, thank you so much. I shall go and look for your skis in the drawing room. Perhaps someone has hidden them in the grand piano.
Just a minute, please.
You speaking to me?
Yes. Perhaps you'd like to come and sit down.
What do you want?
You may have heard some of the questions I was asking Mr. Paravicini.
I heard them.
Well, I'd like to get a little information from you.
What do you want to know?
Full name, please.
Leslie Margaret Catherine Casewell.
Catherine.
I spell it with a K.
Quite so. Address?
Via Mariposa, Pine Jaw, Mallorca.
That's in Italy.
It's an island, a Spanish island.
And what is your address in England?
Care of Morgan's Bank, Leadenhall Street.
No other English address?
No.
How long have you been staying in England?
A week.
And you've been staying where?
At the Ledbury Hotel, Knightsbridge.
What brought you to Mousetrap Manor, Miss Casewell?
I wanted somewhere quiet in the country.
And how long did you, or do you propose to stay here?
Till I finished what I came here to do.
And what was that? And what was that? What was it that you came here to do, Miss Casewell?
Beg your pardon, I was thinking of something else.
You still haven't answered my question.
I really don't see, you know, why I should. It's a matter that concerns me alone. A strictly private affair.
All the same, Miss Casewell.
No, I don't think we'll argue about it.
Would you mind telling me your age?
Not in the least. It is on my passport. I'm 24.
24.
You were thinking I look older. That is quite true.
Is there anyone in this country who can vouch for you?
My bank will reassure you as to my financial position. I can also refer you to a solicitor, a very discreet man. But I'm not in a position to offer you a social reference. I've lived most of my life abroad.
In Mallorca.
In Mallorca and other places.
Were you born abroad?
No, I left England when I was 13.
You know, Miss Casewell, I can't quite seem to make you out.
Does it matter?
I don't know. So what are you doing?
It seems to worry you.
It does worry me. You went abroad when you were 13.
12, 13, thereabouts.
And was your name Casewell then?
It's my name now.
Or what was your name then? Come on, tell me.
What are you trying to prove?
I want to know what your name was when you left
It's
England.
a long time ago. I've forgotten.
There are things one doesn't forget.
Possibly.
Unhappiness. Despair.
I dare say.
What's your real name?
I told you. Leslie Margaret Catherine Casewell.
What the hell are you doing here?
I wish to God I'd never come here.
I thought police weren't allowed to give the third degree.
I was merely interrogating Miss Casewell.
You seem to have upset her. What did he do?
No, it's nothing. It's just all this murder. It's so horrible. It came over me suddenly. I'll go up to my room.
It's impossible. I don't believe it.
What don't you believe? 6 impossible things before breakfast like the Red Queen.
Oh, yes, it's rather something like that.
My dear, you look as though you'd seen a ghost.
I've seen something I ought to have seen before. Blind as a bat I've been, but I think now we may be able to get somewhere.
Oh, the police have a clue.
Yes, Mr. Wren, the police finally have a clue. I'd like everyone assembled in here again. Do you know where they are?
Giles and Mollie are in the kitchen. I've been helping Major Metcalf look for your skis. We've looked in the most entertaining places, but all to no avail. I don't know where Paravicini is.
I'll get him. You get the others. Mr. Paravicini. Mr. Paravicini. Paravicini!
Yes, Sergeant. Oh, what can I do for you? As the dog policeman lost his keys and doesn't know where to find them, well, leave them alone, and they'll come home dragging a murderer behind them.
What is all this?
Sit down, Major. Mrs. Ralston.
Must I come now? It's very inconvenient.
There are more important things than meals, Mrs. Ralston. For instance, Mrs. Boyle won't want another meal.
That's a very tactless way of putting things, Sergeant.
I'm sorry, but I want cooperation and I intend to get it. Mr. Ralston, will you please go upstairs and ask Miss Casewell to come down here? She went up to her room. Tell her it'll only be a minute.
Have your skis been found, Sergeant?
No, Mrs. Ralston, but I have a shrewd suspicion of who took them and of why they were taken. I won't say any more at the present moment.
No, please don't. I always think explanations shall be safe till the end. That exciting last chapter, you know?
This isn't a game, sir.
Isn't it? Now there I think you're wrong, Sergeant. I think it is a game. To somebody.
You think the murderer is enjoying himself? Maybe.
What is happening?
Sit down, Miss Casewell. Mrs. Ralston, please. Will you all pay attention, please? You may remember that after the murder of Mrs. Boyle, I took statements from you all. Those statements are as follows. Mrs. Ralston in the kitchen, Mr. Ralston upstairs, Mr. Wren upstairs, Miss Casewell in the library, Mr. Paravicini in the drawing room, and Major Metcalf in the cellar.
Correct.
Those were the statements I took from you all. They may be true, they may not. To put it quite clearly, 5 of you are telling the truth and 1 of you is lying. I have a plan that may help us to catch that liar. And if I find out who lied to me in pub, then I know who the murderer is.
Not necessarily. Someone may have lied for some other reason.
I rather doubt that.
What's the idea? You've just said you have no means of checking these statements.
Yes, but supposing we were to go through them a second time.
Ah, that old chestnut. Reconstruction of the crime.
That's a foreign idea.
Not a reconstruction of the crime per se, but a reconstruction of the actions of supposedly innocent persons.
What do you expect to learn from this?
If you'll forgive me, I won't say at this moment.
You want a repeat performance?
Yes, Mr. Ralston, I do.
It's a trap.
What do you mean it's a trap?
It's a trap, I know it is.
I merely want people to perform the same actions as they did before.
But I simply can't see what you can possibly hope to find out by just making people do the same things they did before. I think it's all nonsense.
How do you, Mr. Ray?
Well, you can count me out. Far too busy in the kitchen anyway.
I can't count anyone out. One might believe you're all guilty by the looks of you. Why are you all so unwilling?
Of course. What you say goes, Sergeant. We'll all cooperate. Hey, Mollie?
Very well.
Wren? Miss Casewell?
Yes.
Paravicini? Ah, yes. I consent.
Metcalf?
Yes.
Are we all to do exactly what we did before?
The same actions will be performed, yes, but not. Yes, the same actions will be performed.
Then I will return to the drawing room, where with one finger I will pluck out the signature tune of a murderer. Dum dum dum.
Quite so fast, Mr. Paravicini. Mrs. Ralston, do you play the piano?
Yes, I do.
And do you know the tune of Three Blind Mice?
Don't we all know it?
Then you could go in there and play it with one finger, just as Mr. Paravicini did. Good. Go in there and wait for my signal.
But, Sergeant, I thought we were to repeat our former roles.
The same actions will be performed, yes, but not necessarily by the same people. Thank you, Mrs. Ralston.
I don't see the point.
There is a point. It's a means of checking up on the original statements, and maybe one statement in particular. Now, if you'll all pay attention, I will assign you all your new stations. Mr. Wren, will you please go into the kitchen and watch Mrs. Ralston's dinner for her? You're very fond of cooking, I believe. Mr. Paravicini, will you please go up to Mr. Wren's room? By the back stairs is the most convenient way. Major Metcalf, will you please go up to Mr. Ralston's room and examine the telephone wire? Miss Casewell, will you please go down to the cellars? Mr. Wren will show you the way. Unfortunately, I need someone to reproduce my own actions. I'm sorry to ask it of you, Mr. Ralston, but will you please go outside and trace the telephone wire round to the front door? I have a chilly job, but you're probably the toughest person here.
And what are you going to do?
I will be enacting the part of Mrs. Boyle.
Taking a bit of a risk, aren't you?
You will all go to your stations and wait for my signal.
Parlor games.
No objection to my wearing a coat.
Oh, I should advise it, sir. Oh, take my torch too, it's behind the curtain.